you think you know yourself, but the truth is, you've never truly looked. Not in silence, not without excuses, not without the noise. You've lived decades, collected memories, titles, regrets, perhaps even fleeting victories. But if I asked you now, who are you, without function, without name, without routine, would you have an answer, or would you simply freeze? Miyamoto Musashi called this seeing the earth before stepping on it. The first ring, the earth ring, is not about comfort. It's about brutality. It's the solid ground where every lie sinks. Musashi didn't begin as a master. He began with self-confrontation, in silence, in solitude, in truth. Earth forgives nothing. It shows you exactly who you are, not who you pretend to be, not who you wish you were, but what you are. When everything around you stops speaking, and what it shows usually hurts. You've been busy for years, but were you ever present? You fill calendars, but you don't fill the soul. You think you're living, but really, you're postponing the encounter with yourself. After Musashi defeated Sasaki Kojiro, his most legendary duel, he didn't celebrate. He vanished into a cave for 2 years, not to meditate, but to study why he almost lost 2 years. Not basking in glory, but dissecting his weaknesses. Who does that today? You win, and you distract yourself. You fail, and you explain it away. You never investigate. Earth demands the opposite. Silence. Autopsy of the ego. A surgical cut through illusion. Musashi wrote, "The way of the warrior is the dual path of pen and sword." Translation: balance between the body that acts and the mind that understands. But you act without thought or think without action. Both lead to the same deception, a life that is full of emptiness. You wake up, move, produce, but without depth, without direction, without awareness. You call it productivity, but in truth, it's just escape. What Earth asks is simple, but violent. See yourself with ruthless clarity, track your days, observe your patterns, measure your energy, and ask, what here is real, and what is noise masquerading as purpose? Most people don't have a time problem, they have a focus problem. Or worse, they lack the courage to face what's real. And you, how much of what you do is truly yours, and how much is just distraction to avoid facing the silence? The earth ring offers no comfort, it offers no answers. It strips your masks, because only when the ground shakes do you finally discover where you truly stand. Once the earth has exposed your truth, stripped you of illusion, you face the next battle, what to do with that truth. Most people panic. They see how far they've drifted and try to sprint toward redemption. A perfect plan, a total overhaul. Wake at dawn, train like a soldier, meditate like a monk. They believe discipline is forged through extremes. But Musashi knew better. The second ring water does not crash. It does not shatter. It bends, adapts, moves silently around resistance. It flows until stone itself gives way. At the start of his journey, Musashi didn't use the same weapon twice. He fought with swords, spears, wooden sticks, even bare hands. Why? Because he understood. Rigid strategy breaks. Flexible practice endures. That's what modern minds fail to see. You uncover your weakness, then attack it with perfection. You try to become a master overnight, but the body breaks, the mind revolts, and soon you fall back, worse than before. This is not failure. This is fantasy punished by reality. Water teaches the opposite. It says, stop building monuments, start building momentum. Wake up 30 minutes earlier, not 3 hours. Do 10 push-ups, not 100. Read 1 page, not a chapter. Don't fight reality with idealism. Flow through it with presence. And here lies the paradox. What you call pathetic is how mastery begins. The old warrior understands. 10 steps repeated with intention are worth more than 1,000 steps taken in desperation. Musashi didn't train like a legend. He trained like a beginner, longer than anyone else was willing to. Water doesn't win through force. It wins through pressure, repetition, quiet erosion. You want to meditate 20 minutes? Start with 2. You want to write daily? Start with a single sentence. Want to silence the noise? Start by leaving your phone in another room for 1 hour. These acts are not small. They are sacred because they are kept. That's what separates the disciplined from the dreamers. Consistency, not intensity. Your ego will protest. This is too easy. It's not enough. Ignore it. That's your addiction to suffering, not your path to mastery, Musashi wrote. In strategy, make the enemy believe you are far away when you are near. Apply this to discipline. Let the task believe it's defeating you, while you're quietly conquering it. Let your brain expect you to quit after 10 minutes, then go for 11. Let it scream at the smallness of the act, and still do it. Because every act, however small, is a strike against who you used to be. Progress isn't found in extremes. It's hidden in repeated patience. Water doesn't brag. It carves stone over centuries. Your habits must do the same. So, ask yourself, what can I do today that I cannot fail at? Then do exactly that, and again tomorrow, and again the next day. That's how water wins. Not with power, but with presence. There comes a moment when the quiet path of discipline is disturbed. You wake earlier, you train, you begin to move with intention. The days start to hold shape, the fog thins, and then it hits. Comparison, anger, disgust, not with your weakness, but with your progress. You feel proud until you see someone younger, faster, stronger. You feel disciplined until someone else is already miles ahead, and the voice inside you sharpens. You're still behind. You're still small. What's the point of all this? This is where most fall. The earth revealed your truth. Water got you moving, but now fire awakens, and fire, untamed, consumes. Musashi understood this better than anyone. He didn't just study technique. He studied rage, not to express it blindly, but to wield it like a weapon. He lost his father at 7. He was thrown into solitude, grief, hunger. And what did he do? He trained 14 hours a day, every day. He didn't do this despite his rage. He did it because of it. But here is the wisdom most miss. He never directed the fire at himself. He never let anger rot his spirit. He aimed it, focused it, refined it. That is the fire ring. Rage without control is destruction. Rage with direction becomes transformation. Modern minds, however, do the opposite. They turn their anger inward. They spiral. I'm weak. I'm a failure. I'm a joke. But Musashi would say, you are not weak because you feel rage. You are weak because you don't know where to aim it. Your emotions are not your enemy. Your misdirection is. Anger is fuel. But where is it taking you? You hate your lack of progress. Good, use that. You're disgusted by your excuses. Good, burn them. But do not punish yourself. Punish your patterns. Punish your indiscipline. Punish the part of you that resists the way. Because the truth is brutal. If you don't forge your fire, it will consume everything you've built. Musashi wrote, do not be jealous of others, good or evil. Not because jealousy is wrong, because it wastes fuel. Every moment you spend envying another man's discipline is a moment you lose yours. Every second you wish for his strength is a second you deny your own. So ask yourself, when was the last time you let your fire build, without letting it burn you down? Genuine discipline is not quiet. It is often forged in fury, but fury must be harnessed. This is the ritual of the fire ring. At the end of each day, sit with yourself, not in shame, not in guilt, in brutal honesty. Ask, what disgusted me about myself today? Where did I give in? Where did I let comfort win? What truth did I avoid? and then convert each answer into an act. If you only did 30 push-ups, tomorrow you do 35. If you checked your phone during work, tomorrow the phone stays in another room. If you ate out of laziness, tomorrow you prepare with precision. Fire isn't meant to shame you, it's meant to shape you. Most people quit because they misunderstand their inner voice. They hear, "You're not good enough," and they believe it's an attack. But the warrior hears the same voice and replies, "Then I must become better." Same fire, different target. This is the turning point. Because once the fire starts working for you, the world can no longer control you. You're no longer driven by validation, by applause, by comparison. You're driven by something internal, something ancient. And once that happens, discipline becomes non-negotiable. It's not about feeling good. It's not about results. It's about respect for the war you've already survived and for the one that continues each morning. So now I ask you, what do you burn for? Do you burn with shame or with precision? Is your fire wild or is it weaponized? Because if you learn to aim it, nothing will ever stop you again. The hardest enemy is not the one who confronts you. It's the one who flatters you. 3 months in, the path begins to feel different. You wake before the alarm. The routine, once painful, now feels natural. You train, you work, you eat with intention. Even your posture changes. People notice. They ask questions. And slowly, a whisper forms in the back of your mind. You've made it. You're disciplined now. You can ease up. This is the most dangerous voice of all. Not because it's loud, but because it sounds like wisdom. It seduces with calm. It wears the mask of maturity. And it tells you that you've earned the right to relax. Musashi called this the wind. Not because it destroys, but because it erodes. You stop tracking your time. You skip the evening planning. You miss one session, then 2. You say it's fine. You're stable now. But by the second week, you've lost half of what you built. Not from failure, from comfort, from believing you had arrived. This is what the wind ring reveals. Success is the beginning of decay. Pride is disguised regression. Comfort is camouflaged decline. After over 60 undefeated duels, Musashi wrote, "I have not yet reached the way." Imagine that. A man who never lost, still calling himself a student. Why? Because he knew, the moment you believe you've mastered the path, you've stepped off of it. Modern minds hunger for progress, but fear humility. They want the title, not the weight, the transformation, not the maintenance. But discipline is not a goal. It is a form of worship. It is a daily ritual, not because you're weak, but because you're human. Musashi didn't keep studying other schools of strategy to steal techniques. He studied them to stay curious, to remain a beginner, even after becoming a legend. This is what you must learn. Your current progress, no matter how impressive, is still just a layer, a single brushstroke on an unfinished canvas. If you stop here, you rot. The wind whispers, "You've done enough. You don't need to be so rigid. You've earned some ease." And the worst part, it sounds reasonable, but reason is not your master. The way is. The path doesn't demand perfection, but it demands vigilance. Because your greatest threat is no longer the outside world. It's the softening of your own edge. You want a warrior's life, then you must adopt a warrior's rule. Never let results convince you that the work is done, because results are just echoes. They tell you what you were, not what you are. The wind ring teaches one law above all. Stay a student, forever. Find someone stronger than you, someone more precise, more consistent, more humble. Study them, not to imitate, to be reminded you are still becoming. Arrogance is what happens when you forget there are deeper levels. Humility is what keeps you searching for them. Musashi didn't cling to his victories. He sharpened his blade each day as if he had never held one. And so must you. You're not competing with others. You're competing with the version of you that thinks he's finished. Kill that version. Every morning, every night. Don't fear regression. Fear comfort masquerading as control. Because here's the cruel truth. You don't rise and stay there. You rise or you slide. There is no neutral in mastery. So what now? Now you track again. Now you plan again. Now you strip away the pride and replace it with hunger. This is what the wind demands. And the question is simple. Are you still willing to be a beginner? Because the day you stop being a student is the day your blade begins to rust. You've faced the truth. You've built the discipline. You've burned through the fire. You've humbled yourself in the wind. And yet, something still aches. A silent question begins to take shape. Will this ever end? You've been waking at dawn, tracking your time, sharpening your habits. Progress is real. You've changed. But the fatigue isn't just physical anymore. It's existential. You realize what no one tells you. Discipline never becomes easy. Not truly, not permanently. It becomes normal. It becomes nature. But it never becomes effortless. This is the final threshold, and the one that breaks most men. They climb the mountain of discipline, expecting a summit, only to discover there isn't one. Just more steps, more storms, more sharpening. And that's when many fall, because they thought the war had an ending. But Musashi knew better. In his final writings, after a lifetime of duels, battles, and undefeated records, he wrote one line that pierces deeper than all his swords. In the void is virtue and no evil. Wisdom has existence. Principle has existence. The way has existence. Spirit is nothingness. What does this mean? It means there is no finish line, and there never was. Discipline is not a project. It is not a means to rest. It is the practice of eternity. The void is not despair. It is acceptance, not of weakness, but of the unending nature of the path. You will wake early forever. You will track forever. You will battle distraction forever. Not because you're failing, but because this is what a warrior's life requires. You are not climbing toward a finish. You are circling the flame, forever closer, never burned, never done. And the second you stop asking, when does it get easier, and start asking, what is today's battle, you cross into the void. The final ring is not about achievement. It's about identity. Discipline is no longer something you do. It's something you are. You don't meditate to become someone. You meditate because that's what someone like you does. You don't write because it's useful. You write because the act itself keeps you sharp. You train not for strength, but because you are someone who trains. That is your nature. Musashi painted every day in his final years, not to become a painter, but because warriors express, warriors refine, warriors stay awake. He lived with almost nothing, owned no comfort, trusted no routine, because the void, once entered, demands detachment, not from life, but from illusion. You detach from the idea that you'll ever arrive. You detach from the fantasy of rest. You detach from the reward system the world tries to sell you. You don't train for applause. You train because, without training, you forget who you are. You don't fast for your body. You fast because indulgence dulls your spirit. This is the secret few understand. Discipline is not the bridge to peace. Discipline is peace. Because, in the void, everything simplifies. There is no comparison, no jealousy, no goal to chase, only presence, practice, precision. The man who accepts this doesn't need motivation. He doesn't need hacks. He doesn't need applause. He has the way, and that is enough. So here is the final cut. The rings were never about mastery. They were about removal. Earth removed your lies. Water removed your rigidity. Fire removed your excuses. Wind removed your pride. And the void removes your illusions of an ending. And once those are gone, what remains is the way. The rings are waiting. But now, the question isn't, are you ready? It's, will you walk anyway, even if you never arrive?